Okay. So let first present to you the mechanics or the details regarding our performance task this afternoon. And afterwards, you will be given the chance later on to do the task um, afterwards. So we are now on session 3. So we're now our task is actually very simple. It's an essay writing, but of course, when you write an essay, there is a scope or a theme that you have to discuss within your draft. So let's start first on the competencies that we have covered and of course must reflect on our essay. So number one, we have already discussed the basic features as well as the importance of the two biological processes, namely photosynthesis and cellular respiration. So within this competency, we also learned how animals and plants uniquely in their own way harness or get energy from the ecosystem. And of course, the different characteristics, the stages involved for photosynthesis as well as for cellular respiration. So, what is our goal for this task? Now, our goal is, of course, you are able to explain in writing the importance of energy flow, how energy flow from one organism to another organism, and how this energy flow supports life in ecosystem. So remember, we learned that certain organisms can directly get energy from the sun, while other organisms can't. And therefore, they must consume other organisms in order for them to get the necessary materials as well as the energy for them to, of course, survive. So, your role, you will assume the role of an environmentalist, a youth environmentalist. Okay, and of course the target or the your essay, the draft that you are writing is to be targeted or to be read by students or youths in your community. So your consideration is that the people who will be reading your essay or your work are actually individuals who are more or less of the same age. Okay, so probably that it could also include that the tone of your writing could be more casual or more informal because you are writing for individuals of the same age. Now, of course, this is more or less the gist of your um, essay. Okay, so you can actually see this from the PDF file that is actually available on our class card. So again, the main goal is that you are to write an essay addressed to the students or youths from your community that will help them explain or learn the importance of energy flow in the ecosystem and how sustainable human actions and activities can help not only mankind, but also the living organisms here on Earth. So of course, that's only limited, right? So how to help you expand your discussion or your essay is that you should also include the following key concepts. Okay, number one, you can also discuss part or included in your essay the interconnectedness of organisms in the environment. What do you mean by interconnectedness? How they are connected, how their um, lives impact one another. Okay, how their roles in the ecosystem impact one another. You can include here the symbiotic relationship and so on. Of course, the main goal of or the main topic of our discussion is of course the role of photosynthesis and the role of cellular respiration in the energy flow, the movement of energy in the ecosystem. Third, the importance that the importance of energy or the continuous flow of energy in the ecosystem in order for it to support the different life forms here on Earth. Okay, so you can also include that in your essay. And then, of course, the importance of sustainability. Certain resources must be recycled so that certain processes can continue and will not, or certain processes will follow a cycle rather than a linear process na I start or end. Remember, a process is different from a cycle because ang cycle does not have a distinct starting point or the distinct ending. It is a continuous process. Back and forth lang siya. Okay? So far, any question regarding the contents of your essay? Unsay dapat na ay focus sa essay so far? Wala ba? Okay, so the target, of course, these are the skills that are, of course, expected that you will manifest as you create your output. Of course, including your critical thinking, your knowledge about science, your literacy and communication skills, based on how you were able to construct your concepts or ideas regarding the different key concepts at the same time the main topic of our essay. So here is our rubric. Your essay will be actually rated or evaluated based on the four criteria. The first one is, of course, your own understanding of the topic. If you're able to um, express clearly and discuss clearly the key concepts that I just mentioned a while ago. Remember, there were four key concepts. So I suggest that to make your essay more thorough, dapat you kanang dedicate a portion of each of your essay for each of the key concepts. That's just one of my suggestion. And of course, original thinking relative to the topic. So give examples regarding the topics as much as possible. Give specific examples in terms of the different key concepts. So example for one katong isa ka key concept, another one, and so on. And then of course, effectiveness on presenting your point of view. So of course, when you are writing an essay, nasa dapat introduction, body, and of course a conclusion. Okay. And lastly, this is more on your writing style. So your literacy, grammar, and spelling in terms of how you were able to construct your essay with a correct grammar and, of course, correct spelling, and you observe the correct subject verb agreement. Okay. So any questions? So I'll leave this part so that you have a guide. By the way, before I Yes, Miles, you're raising your hand.
Sure, when ang deadline para aning essay?
Okay, let me change first my tab so that I can show you the portal. At the same time, I can answer the question for Miles. So, okay, let me click our class card here. So as you can see, it's still loading. Okay, so here, um, as you can see here, there are actually three entries. The first one is for the module, which we already covered. This one is the essay, and of course, the long test for this coming Friday. No, Thursday for your class. Okay. So here, as you can see, the portal is already open. This is actually the shortcut version of what I just presented a while ago, including the rubric. And then if you really want to read the details, I also included here the PDF version. So the deadline here is until 7 p.m. So take note, this is an individual work. Okay? Individual work. Did I answer your question, Miles? So
Yes,
until
sir.
7 p.m. Is that already so what do you call this? Realistic until 7 p.m.? Is that already realistic for everyone? Or naa pa ba'y manghangyo? I'll give you one chance to ask an extension. Yes, Vaughn.
Pila ka sentence siya?
Um, Instead of sentences, it's counted by words. So at least 500 words.
Musta na siya akong suggestion siya. Pwede 11:59 p.m.
Okay, is that okay to everyone? Of course, you can submit earlier, but that is the latest deadline. Is that okay to everyone? That's why I'm asking you if it's realistic for your from your end.
OMG, yes, sure.
Okay, so let me change first the deadline. Wala na mo, wala na. So I'll just, okay, so that you can see the change here. So today is 12, right? So let me, pwede na lang 1 a.m. na lang of the following day so that kay, because sometimes, di ba, if it's between the, kanang a demarcation between two dates, sometimes na ay problem ang system. So I'll put it here 11 a.m. of 11 a.m. 1 a.m. sa 13, but of course if you can submit it earlier, wala problema. Anyway, the system will mark it with the timestamp when you made the submission. Was that clear to everyone? Okay, so let me first set it sa 13 and let me set it sa 1 a.m. na lang so that it's safe para dili mabuang ang atong wela. Okay, so you see that it's 1 a.m. already, but of course that's on January 13. So let me submit that, the changes. Okay, assignment updated successfully. So here you can see that the portal is open 4 p.m. a while ago, and the portal will remain open until 1 a.m. tomorrow. Okay na? Okay, happy na si Miles. Okay, let me go back to my presentation here. Sorry, now share screen. Okay, so let me keep this one here on the screen so that you have at least a guide in terms of the PT. Ano, giniga kapitit siya, oh. Okay, let me go back to the slide here. Okay, please, I highly encourage you that as much as possible, you can start doing at least the outline of your, you may include your own title in that. The title, you may have your own personal title, but of course, it's up to you. Okay, so again, I highly encourage everyone, even if the deadline is of course long, taas pa, but I highly encourage you so that nagid mo you don't have the reason na you're not able to accomplish the task. um, Please start already with the outline. Again, you are allowed to go to your online references, but of course, please avoid copy paste like kanang word for word copy of all of the concepts. Get your idea from the online sources, but of course, um, explain it, read it carefully, and then explain it using your own words. Okay, so to avoid plagiarism. Okay, so I'll stay here in case you still have questions. I hope um, it's more or less realistic and achievable for everyone. Okay, so let me mute myself so that you can